let's be honest. College is a privilege. I don't think a lot of people understand this nowadays, but a lot of Americans and a lot of people don't go to higher education. In fact, I believe that the number of students who accomplish even high school and grammar school has been reducing the past couple of years. And I think that if you think that going to school is a place for you to vacation and a place for you to have fun, that's absolutely fine. But it is a privilege for you to say that because just going to college in general is a privilege. And so, what does that mean? Why is it a privilege? But why is college a privilege? Why is it so important to do well in college? Because everybody sees you as a student. But why does everybody see you as a student and why is that important? It's because, well, you are, and they're going to give you an opportunity because of it. Because anybody who accomplished something that took time and skill started off as a student. That means that they're probably going to see you in the same place as they did 5, 10 years ago. And they're going to say to themselves, man, I wish I had somebody to help me too during that time. And you know what? They might just give you a helping hand and help you out. So, what are some ways to do well in college? Finding an opportunity to do what you came to college for. That pretty much boils down the number one thing you should be doing in college. Because grades are important, sure. You can't flunk your classes. But if you don't do this, then you're going to be leaving college without knowing what's important to you. If you don't find an opportunity to do what you came to college for, you're essentially not even learning at that point. Because you only learn by doing, really. You can sit in a classroom all day and talk about what it's like to be a plumber, or you can go out and actually fix somebody's toilet. And at that point, that's when you're actually going to learn, when you actually have on-the-job experience. And that's why it's so important to have that on your resume. I mean, really, if you went to college for, let's say, cooking, but you end up never cooking for somebody else, then why would you go to college? You can't just learn about things and expect you to get better at them. You have to go out and do them. You can't just read cookbooks all day and get better at cooking. Sure, you might get better in the sense that you know where ingredients are, the names of ingredients, and small things like that, but you need to both be in the kitchen, plumbing, you need to fix the toilets, and you need to also read the books. It's a little bit of both. If you start a tech startup in college and you leave, you're going to be highly respected because school is only there for the opportunity to do the thing you actually want to do. It doesn't matter if you spend all day reading a book. Nobody cares unless there's some sort of proof, some sort of certification. This person did this thing, sign here. I'm the institution. I'm proving that this person is competent enough to do this. That's all college is. And so it's a privilege to get the chance to do this, to actually be in the kitchen, to actually do the work. And like I said, it's like being a plumber. It's pretty shitty. It might not be that fun, but you have to learn and you have to be on the job in order to get better. You can't just read cookbooks all day. Theory can only take you so far. I want to make another point too. Life and your earning potential is not linear. Most people's careers don't really look like this. Most people's careers look like this, and then look like this, and then look like this. And then maybe they look like this, and then maybe they lose their job. They gotta start from here again. Oh, but they got all their savings, so they're going up a little bit, and then they stop here. Whereas, you could do this, or if you really try hard in college, and let's say you get some crazy opportunity that allows you to move all the way up to here, then that same thing will just happen again, right? Let's say you get some opportunities again that are just that much better. And then if you're affected by this, by something, the market, the economy goes down, it won't hurt as much as if you were here. And I know this may not look like it makes the most amount of sense. What I'm trying to say is that nothing is linear in life. Your earnings, your success, usually comes off of luck. So why not start from the luckiest position possible, where you do get that crazy opportunity to work at some bank or some quant firm where you're making millions of dollars and you're just coasting from here. Because then once you make this money and you have this capital, you can just chill. You go on vacation, relax, and you won't be affected by market downturns, something bad with the economy happening. It probably won't affect you as much as this person who had a pretty great career but didn't get to the level of success of here because they didn't work hard enough over here. And so you may say, oh, that's you like not cherishing your childhood, and that's you being somebody who's too grindy and too hustly. No, not really. It's just reality, right? Let's say you have parents that are doctors and they teach you everything about what's required to be a doctor and be successful. You're probably going to be a little bit more successful than people who didn't have that education or experience. That's just life. That's just being realistic. And so when you're watching this video and you're asking yourself, how can I do better in college? How can I be more successful? This is the answer. It's you work your butt off to get to an opportunity that you become this successful over here. You don't wait until over here in your life, because starting from here in your life and going up to here is way harder than doing it from here, from college, from startup life, because you're not cute. Like back to that first point, nobody wants to give somebody an opportunity who's already said I was going to do this, and then I did this, and then I did that, and then I did this, and now I'm here because nothing else worked out and my life is falling apart and I need your help. Or I didn't realize until I got here. And you know what? Some people may take pity on you. Some people may give you opportunities. But I'm telling you, you have kids, you have a wife, you have a dog, you have a house. There's just going to be so many other things that are dragging on you. Because at this point, you're still just a kid, kind of. You're an adult, sure, you're 18 plus. But there's not all the responsibility that comes over here. Because the older you are, the more responsibility you get. And that's just how it works. The longer you take to start getting to a certain point, this usually isn't possible over here. This explosive growth, this explosive energy that it requires to get this successful, you just get more tired as you get older. Your body falls apart, your mind isn't as sharp. It's difficult. And if you just think about your development as a young person, you have more time and more leisure to figure things out when you're younger. Not when you're older. When you're older, you have to start implementing what you actually learned in school. And so what that means is that you gotta wake up somewhere around here. You gotta be like, oh, crap. I probably should have studied harder in school. I probably should have asked more questions about what a career path in this would be like. I probably should have spent more time talking to my professors. Because college is the last chance you'll probably get to be a kid. And I say that as somebody who is now no longer really a kid. I've been working a year in corporate. I've kind of figured out that this is life. And people who are already this far ahead of you, let's say that you start from here and somebody else is up here. These people are just going to keep going like this. And they'll keep exploding and succeeding. Whereas you, or me in this case, didn't realize until right here. And this gap will just keep on growing and keep going. And this other person who tried really hard earlier is going to keep succeeding. And it's not an excuse for me to say oh, I just didn't know, everybody knows. Everybody already knows this. You should probably take more opportunities, probably study more, probably ask more people questions about what it takes to become successful or become rich, or just try harder. But it's scary to do that because it takes a lot of effort and it takes a lot of energy. If If you want to be a millionaire, you got to deal with a millionaire's problems. And realizing this, really isn't that much of a sacrifice when you really think about it. You got to enjoy your childhood. You got to have fun, grow up. Now it's time to lock in. College is the last chance you'll get to be a kid. But it doesn't mean that you can't enjoy life. Being a kid is different than enjoying life. You know what I mean? Enjoy life as an adult. You don't have to be a kid. You don't have to think about nostalgic things. Just succeed so that you can enjoy everything else. You can go on vacations. You can travel. You can go see people that see things. You can go have experiences, eat new food. All the stuff that not a kid likes, but an adult. And this just brings me to my last point. If you don't try now, then when will you ever try? Really? I want you to think about this. If you are a new grad student, if you are a student who's just going to college for the first time, if you are somebody who is 30, 40 years old out of college, doesn't have any idea what they want to do with their life, that's completely okay. But if you don't try, then when will you? People say, I'll start tomorrow, I'll start next week. But it doesn't really matter. That's just the limit you impose on yourself. Nobody's telling you you can't become a millionaire. Nobody's telling you that you can't become successful. There is no limits to what you can accomplish. And I say that because all this information is accessible and free. If you really wanted to learn how to code, there's millions of resources that are online free. You just have to Google it. And I know people say that. And I know people want their hand to be held. And you know what? If that's a service that people actually want, I can provide it as well. If you really, really have a question and you don't know what to do about college, about your experience with your career, I'll try giving you an answer. I can't say it's going to be the best one, but what I can say is I've observed a lot of things, seen what worked, seen what didn't, and I know that whatever you do, you just have to try. And you have to try really hard. And it's going to suck sometimes. You're going to lose sleep. And it's not going to be easy. But if you don't try now, then when will you ever try? Don't live with regrets. Just keep moving forward. You got this. My name is Matt, the Life Company. Hope you learned something. And thanks for watching. Peace.